Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, round 8 out of 16. Yes, that is the halfway mark. It's going to be an interesting one. We have one sprint race next weekend for the Silverstone Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix, and then a break week. So we've got a sprint race coming up. This one, night race, another night race. For the F1 calendar, we've got JJ going right over that curb like they've been doing in real life. He's managed to keep it in a straight line, and he continues, currently sitting in P9 with a 29.6. Now, in practice, Pursuit, his goal was to get a 26.0 or a 26.1. Currently, a 26.3 is the lap time. Track evolution will be killer, so you will be able to improve a lot more as you go. Currently, Heish the top in the times Pursuit. Zingy Devon Young DNFing early on from quali, still sitting a lap. So was Nifo. PJ disqualified for blocking the pit lane exit, and Dave Raptors, I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but he didn't get to set a lap, unfortunately. We've got a brand new driver, Nabil, who is in P5 at the moment, doing a good job, just in front of Gilly. It's very small margins between those guys, for sure, so we'll see how that one goes. But that's JJ going to be finished. He's going to go into the pit lane. And then we'll see Igor, who's one of the only other cars out on track. We do have the Ferrari of Gilly, who's currently in P6, and they've done a lap, and it looks like they're going again. But Igor is going to be the next car to beat on a hot lap. We'll go into the first corner in about 54% brake bias, more or less, braking as hard as you possibly can. On the exit, use all of the runoff to the left as you dare, and then up the blind left-hander, bring it immediately to the left, double left-hander through here, over the curbs, gonna have to lift, be a little bit of a wimp, unfortunately. You hate to do it in an F1 car, riding over the curb with all the aggression in the world as well. As they come into turn 13, notorious for losing the car in the later stages of races when the tyres start to wear down, but in quali, there's no questions asked, no problems. Very nice precision there from Igor, getting as close as he can to the wall as he gets through turn 16, 17. And then we've got the second DRS straight of the lap, followed by the third and final DRS straight off the lap coming up next. And you get the start finish straight, of course, as well. Went purple in the middle sector right there. We will continue on this lap and complete it. The final corner, bring it back up to the original 54% brake bias, as you would have for the rest of the lap, brought it down a little bit to just increase performance. Now we'll go tight to the left-hand side usually. He's going to cross the line. What's it going to be for Igor? It's going to be a P4, 26.8, still away off the top three, who are in a bit of a league of their own at the moment, but it is a 26 lap time nevertheless. I believe what we're going to get next is Pursuit on track. We'll watch on board to see what he does differently to Igor. We know that he's put some time in, and he's looking forward to this one. Final corner, on the exit. Pursuit will be running about 54% brake bias, as I said, more or less. Turn one left-hander, use the rear locking to get the car rotated. And then on the right-hand side, open up the steering to turn 3. Be careful of the exit curb and get that traction down. Blind corner on the left-hander. Let's see how committed he is. Lovely and committed. More so committed on the right-hander immediately after, because you have to really make sure that you're past the left-hander before you can even get on the throttle. It's very hard to judge. Nice control through the S section, not riding over the exit curb. Purple middle sector, up by a tenth. This is looking pretty good for Pursuit. 13. Getting fairly low down to the wall, gaining as much as they can on track, using all the track available. Very smooth, just working with the contour rather than against it and tapping the wall. And, I assume they've got a fair bit of time left in quali. They've just managed to make sure that they get the lap done so they can back out if they need to, but looks like they won't be needing to right now. Slightly wide off the apex, not too much at all. Did tap the inside there, but it won't slow him down a massive amount. Bring it back to the left-hand side to minimise track distance. DRS, braking zone for the final time. Do not lose it here. They get fairly tight. It's enough. It's DRS. It's going to be provisional pole for Pursoon. Will Heischler and Zingy be able to go for it? He didn't. He missed out in the final sector. I do not believe it. Pursoon will not be able to improve. He will not be able to get anywhere near Heischler. We've got Zingy. I don't know what he's going to be doing. We'll go on board with Heischler first, though. It's going to be the qualifying shootout for the top three. We'll get the Mercedes going across the line. That's Jack Lever finishing P10. We'll get Nabil across, who will also cross the line very shortly. JJ has already set a lap, unfortunately, on his car. We'll get to the sector line, and we've already passed the sector line. This is the final corner, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see what Eichler can do. Can he look at pole position? DRS available. What's it going to be? I think he's up on his time, keeping it tight to the left, gaining everything he can. He improves on his time by a tenth. Zingy, he's going to have to find a lot here, but it doesn't look like he's up. I don't think he's up. I think he's down. Heischler looking at pole position at one of his favourite circuits. DRS available for the final time. Zingy, can he take it away from him? He cannot do it. He cannot do it. He was a tenth down in the end. He didn't even improve. Heischler takes pole position for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Pursoon in P2 making that crucial mistake at the end. And then we have Zingy in P3. Igor up there at the end. And Tom Brainer to P5 taking that away into the 26s. The last of the 26s. How about that? GG indeed with all of those guys there. Hell of a qualifying session, and we'll have a hell of a race, I'm sure. That's Heischler on pole position, Pursoon in P2, and Zingy in P3. That's the rest of the grid. The race director, as we can see, instant section and the pit stops. We'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are away. Pursoon, will he be able to get to first in the first corner? He sticks his nose in. He takes the lead. He's sticking his nose in as well. It's going to allow Zingy to come through on the exit. Zingy's going to look at take it as well, and he's already off the front of the field. What the hell was that? Completely bottled it. There's more contact. There's further contact. Tom Brainer's round. Eagles involved. And Heischler is down the order. There's going to be a safety car surely for that one. Only a virtual safety car deployed immediately. And I don't exactly know what was happening. But yeah, Heischler having big issues off the restart. And not off the restart, off the start, Gilly is up to P3, and up to P4 is JJ, who's done an amazing job. I'm all over the place after that one. I don't know what happened. I do apologise for that. PJ P5, Dave Raptors P6, lots of people down the order. Heischler hasn't got damage somehow. They managed to avoid damage, unless they maybe have a very small amount of wing damage, but they're in P7. The Bill is down the order. He does have damage, unfortunately, so he's going to be having to make a pit stop, I'm sure. And then I believe the other guys behind will also need to. That is going to be Jack Lever trying to get the immediate jump on the Bill, very close together with him, and he does a very good job using the energy to get the job done sooner rather than later. And we could see maybe Devon Young trying to get through as well. He is going to send it on the inside line, and that is going to be contact with Jack Lever and Devon Young. Unfortunately, he will go into the pit lane. It looks, no, it won't be Devon Young into the pit lane. It will be the other guys into the pit lane, though. I'm sure Eagle will also do that, and so will the Alpha. Not Eagle. Eagle was involved, but he didn't actually get damage. The Alfa Romeo will, however. That is a 3-second time penalty for Jack Lever, already getting corner cutting penalties. Is he unfortunately feeling the pressure maybe of the cars behind? Eagle's also done the same thing, but I believe that may have been due to the incident. He actually has damage, but just didn't opt to go into the pit lane just yet, maybe hoping for a safety car to kick in a little bit later. But Jack Lever all over the road, unfortunately. Cannot do anything about it right now. The top two are on their own, running away. We've got Gilly and PJ with JJ. They're in their little train of three as well, which is going to be a nice cozy battle to have. So we've got a couple battles that are on our radar at the moment. This is for the lead. This is for the top points. Pursoon wants to win this Grand Prix. Zingy, never been his strong point around this circuit with the controller, of course. The last race winner was Nifojan 2 seasons ago. Zingy did get the fastest lap, but only after crashing out. They weave the car. They want to make sure that they know they can communicate and work together. We are going to get a moment where you could see an overtake from Devon Young, who's going to send it back to the inside as he did one lap ago on the Bill. I think he's probably got the job done. I don't know if Jack Lever's going to be able to compete on the exit. Devon Young gets a big bit of oversteer, however, and it is going to allow the Mercedes to get a pretty good run. Devon's using a lot of energy though, so it's not going to be so straightforward. That is the move done by the Red Bull, and I think the Mercedes is going to have to let that one go, unfortunately. He can't do anything about that. Devon to P6, and he's going to try and catch up to Gilly, PJ and JJ up ahead. We've got Heischler and Dave Raptors, who are also on their own at the moment. That is Gilly and JJ losing a bit of time, both of them together, as PJ breaks away, so they're not going to be happy with one another. That is going to be a yellow where Devon Young, no, that's Jack Lever who's had an issue, and he's down behind Igor. He's still in the race and he's still good to go, however, so he'll be absolutely fine. Hopefully we can see him back later on. But that is Heischler and Dave Raptors in the meantime switching positions. Dave Raptors cannot seem to keep pace with that McLaren. That is a switch up there with Gilly and PJ, and also the race leaders looking very, very close that they might actually make a switch as well. That is going to be an safety car, as there is a retirement on the circuit there, unfortunately. And that is going to be Jack Lever out of the Grand Prix. I don't know if he's just lost it on the exit, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And it's going to be allowing everybody to jump back up, or bunch back up, I should say, together. And it will mean that these two are going to be on equal tyres as they were already, but Zingy's going to be able to gain that lead and not worry about losing it, which is a shame on Pursoon's side, but it's not the end of the world. It's still a long way, or there's still a long way to go in this race. PJ stays out, interestingly, on his tyre. He doesn't want to try and go all the way to the end on the hards. It wouldn't be the worst idea, but also wouldn't be the best. So maybe he's just trying to think of the longer game. It is Saudi Arabia, so there are probably going to be a couple of safety cars a little bit later on in the Grand Prix. I believe we've had an issue earlier on, but I believe it's sorted itself. Unfortunately, I don't think we've had enough people that are involved to cause a restart. Unfortunately, I think that's all we can do. Dave Raptors has interestingly gone onto the intermediate tyre. I don't believe he's chosen to do that, however. I think he'll get an opportunity to go into the pit lane again and get some fresher tyres on, but that's not exactly ideal, not what he wants. Very unfortunate, very confusing stuff. And I do apologise to everybody that has been affected, but I don't think we can restart at this stage of the evening, unfortunately. PJ leads the way, lap 3 on his tyres. He'll be on lap 5, so he won't have pitted when his tyres are 4 laps old. Is he going to go into the pit lane now? He decides to not go into the pit lane. That is going to be, however, Devon Young making a pit stop. Did he maybe not get damage repaired on his front wing? That's very possible. Doesn't have damage. He's got a 5-second to spend in the pit lane, interestingly. Not entirely sure where that's come from, but he goes and puts on a fresh set of medium tyres. And interestingly, Zingy, Pursoon, all of that, they've all gone for that medium tyre. So I'm not sure. Are they going to try and all go to the end of the Grand Prix on these mediums? It might be their idea. I'm not entirely sure. We'll get Dave Raptors finally back into the pit lane to get on the correct tyre. McLaren not maybe making the best decision in the game. He goes onto the hards. He'll be absolutely fine to go to the end. Is this the master play? Could we see Dave Raptors? Could we see Nabil? Could we see Gilly looking for a victory here? Possibly with that tyre that is possibly the more beneficial one. It seems there's a lot of people that want to go for that medium and that it works. I unfortunately don't know enough about the circuit in this game to be able to tell you that information. The safer option, I can tell you though, is the hard tyre. The hard tyre is going to be very hard to manage at a circuit like this though, where it's so high speed corners that you really do need that grip. So in that regard, maybe the medium tyre is the better tyre because you can just gain so much time overall near the cars. We could get a restart by the end of this lap. Dave Raptors is going to be catching. If we do go in by the end of this lap, then it will be a very, very late restart. Not impossible, however. I think we're probably going to be going by the end of lap 7, however. So we won't get racing lap 6, unfortunately, unless a miracle. And it would mean that PJ would have to very suddenly slow down and warm those tyres up. Other than that, we'll be absolutely fine. And we'll continue for one more round of the Saudi Arabian GP circuit. This was a very, very, very exciting track when it was first added back in the F1 2021 game. It's changed a lot for the better. It's a lot more regulated, whereas before you were able to just kind of cut corners really without the big chunky curbs. Now it is almost already a modern classic within the game. It's pretty high regarded. Very, very, very chaotic at times, as we saw on the opening lap of this Grand Prix. And the grid are travelling through. We, of course, have our previous race winner, Nifo Jan. He's currently in P9. And it's not where he wanted to be after the start, of course, but the safety car does, of course, bring everybody together. More opportunities come around, and our pole position sitter today, he will get another opportunity, although having to take avoiding action as the cars in front are slightly going a little bit slow. He continues as is on his merry way. He's got his teammate in P5 a couple positions up in front. Now Dave Raptors is back to the pack. And when we go for the restart, PJ is going to be on 6 lap old tyres. Zingy and most of the grid are going to be on 3 lap old tyres on the mediums. The hards I'm not even going to question because they'll be good to go, but Devon Young, he is going to have just an extra lap of tyre life to go to potentially the end of this Grand Prix, so it could work out from later. He's got to keep his nose clean, which isn't going to be easy when the walls are so close together, but we'll find out, and we will also find out who's going to get the best launch off the restart. Here we go. PJ leads the safety car restart, Zingy in P2. Zingy is the master of safety car restarts, but the Austrian driver, he controls the pace. Zingy has to follow along, and he cannot do anything about it. When will Zingy go? He's gone for a very wide line. He's going to try and cut back and go from the throttle. Now he's done it. He's pushed for the lead, and Zingy's reacted very, very well. I think he might try and look for P1 into the first corner. He is before the first corner. Is he even going to take the racing line? He doesn't. There's going to be more overtakes of the Alpine behind as well. That's Egerpro having to go defensive, and he's also then got Heichler getting the switch back to the outside line. They'll have a drag race. That's going to be Igor having to back out surely. He does back out, rightly so. There's a bit of contact, but they managed to keep it in a straight line. They continue. Heichler, very, very well done indeed. He's got that Alpine in front of him that he wants to try and get through to get to his teammate. JJ's round. That's also going to be PJ round, unfortunately. These guys were together originally before the safety car, and now they're together, but at the back of the pack. That's Dave Raptors further behind. Nifo goes wide. That is going to be Gilly losing positions after position. Dave Raptors and Devon Young, Devon Young, I wanted to say, come through. There was a big bit of contact there with Igor. That was a very, very confusing crash, well avoided from Dave Raptors, who's now trying to get around. That's also Igor trying to make it 3 wide as he uses the energy, gets past Dave Raptors immediately. I don't know what's happening right here, but that's going to be Heichler giving the positions up. Did he get damaged? He got damaged somewhere. I don't entirely know what's happened there, but yeah, he's very strangely fallen down the order quite far. Maybe collecting the cars in front of him. Igor looking to the inside line. Dave Raptors also kind of having a look, but losing the car left, right and centre. And he's also going to lose the position to Nifo Jan. And Nifo is just going to stay behind though. He lifted off interestingly. I don't quite understand what's happened here. Devon Young, and Heichler both into the pit lane immediately, which is such a shame for their case. Igor, he's got Gilly up in front and Nabil on the outside, who gives the position up to allow them to run their own race at the moment. He doesn't have damage, so it is a strange thing for him to do. Lost the rear end, but kept it in a straight line. That's impressive car control. Still going off the circuit very slightly. Igor can't find a way through of the Ferrari driver at the moment. Dave Raptors still in this race with his hard tyres, of course. Gilly managing to make his way to P3 at the moment, losing it in the meantime to Igor, and he is going to give that position up, let it go. Will Nabil try and get him on the exit? He doesn't have much ERS to actually use, unfortunately, so he's going to have to back down very slightly. Dave Raptors, he's also close. He knows what's at stake here. If you can just see, we've got the 2 race leaders switching positions as they work together, switching very late to the right-hand side as he looks for the best way possible around the cars in front, around the cars around him. He's going to outbrake Nabil on the same tyre. He's going to have the better exit, the better line. He's going to try and follow Gilly through as long as Gilly can use the energy to pass Igor. They can move to the left-hand side, but he can't. He's boxed in. He moves to the left immediately. He's got the inside line. Gilly outbrakes him. He fends him off. Nabil now gets the Aston Martin. Igor has to settle for P6. What a switch up between these guys. What a battle indeed that we've got here. Dave Raptors has got the freshest tyres out the lot. Gilly, he's not in a bad situation, but he's managed to hold on to Dave Raptors there, which I did not expect. Dave Raptors usually very, very aggressive on the setup and able to send it on the brakes, but he didn't want to go for it. He just wanted to let it be, relax, maybe have a go in a little bit. He's got the cars up in front who are quite a way ahead. With all of this battling, they've already got almost an 8-second gap to the rest of the field. Dave Raptor's still taking his time to get past the Ferrari driver. We've also got Nabil and Igor as they're looking to switch again. That is going to be Dave Raptor's looking left and right and left and right. He just can't find a way through. Not on the straight, doesn't want to go for it here. Wants to wait for the DRS straight. That is going to be Igor swooping around the outside. He's going to have mega speed through here. Gilly, he's not letting Dave Raptors through. Dave Raptors can't find a way through, and Igor might even have a look at going for a double overtake if they're not careful. Dave has to get the move done sooner rather than later. He just doesn't seem to want to do it. DRS is available for Dave. ERS is available, and I think he's got that move done eventually. And Igor is going to try and follow along. He's got a lot of speed in that car, but he will not be able to get close enough to make a safe overtake. On lap 10 out of 25, still a long way to go. There is no point in risking anything more than you need to. The top two lead the way by a hell of a margin. 6 tenths between them. They are just working together with the DRS. And they've got the same tyres, of course, as well on their car. That's Igor, unfortunately, round. That does mean Nabil finally gets promoted. And he's going to be right behind Gilly. That will mean, of course, the others will get positions as well in front. Luckily, doesn't have damage, and he will continue on his merry way. Hopefully, he can get some make some progress back a little bit later on. Devon Young and Heisler both on the softs at this stage of the Grand Prix, trying to use some different tyres just in case a safety car comes out and allows them to use a tyre that they maybe want to. Dave Raptors not got it easy. Lots of straights on this circuit means that you really don't get to relax. Nabil's going to have a go at Gilly. They're going to go side by side. They're then going to try and make an overtake on Dave Raptors, but he lifted. He's lifted Gilly, and it's prevented Nabil from getting the double overtake. I don't know what happened there, unless it was a bit of lag. Nabil can't find a way through on the McLaren. They're going to have to just let it go. Maybe follow the Ferrari, who will have DRS. It's not Gilly with DRS, though. It's Dave Raptors with DRS, and he's going to take that racing line. Nabil's not going to go for it, but he has to go for it, forces himself into a mistake, loses the rear, but keeps it in a straight line and makes one of the most spectacular overtakes I've seen in a while. That was an impressive move there. I don't think it was intentional, but he's done it. He's got the job done. What a move there from Nabil in the Alpine car on debut. Fair enough to him. Dave Raptors can't find a way to keep it on the circuit. He can't find a way to break away. He's on the fresher tyre, but it's just not working out for him at the moment. Does he have damage? He does. So, looking so strong, he got in front, pushed a little bit too hard, he's got damage, and the leaders are now 13 seconds in front. They are going to be unrivaled. That is a full front wing gone. Dave Raptors continues to lose more damage, or lose more front wing on their car, as they're, for some reason, going for the move here on the car in front. He's going to go off the circuit, allow them to pass. Very, very interesting tactics. PJ is all of a sudden P5. He's back in this race. He is back in this race after all of that. I did not expect that at all. These guys have been fighting so hard. This man can look at a podium. And does he get DRS? He is within the DRS range. Dave Raptors goes into the pit lane, and that is going to be a pretty tough day for him, unfortunately. Igor will get that promotion. PJ, he's fighting for the podium. His reserve driver friend for today, and Gilly, of course. They are going to be all battling it out for that final spot. The glorious spot. But the top two are very much on their own. We'll have a quick look at this battle right here. We haven't had a chance. They've been fairly civil with each other, working together, knowing what they've got to do. They are both champions in their own tiers. Of course, Bassoon winning their own championship in the F1.5 E Championship 2 seasons ago. This is Bassoon's actual tier, but he's just not won in F1 yet. Multiple race winner versus a multiple F1 champion. They have exactly the same thought process. Bassoon makes that move. They let the slipstream train run. And then Zingy, is he going to try and re-overtake immediately? Or is he going to let Pursoon lead for this lap? I think he's going to go for the move immediately. He's not. He's going to let Pursoon lead the lap. And we'll get to see what these guys do later on when the mind games really kick in and it's crunch time to decide who takes the victory for the Grand Prix, because Zingy is a serial winner. He's not going to want to give it up Pursoon. Got a lot to think about here. But he doesn't seem to be under much pressure at all. He seems to be quite relaxed at this stage. Zingy not strong in that S section. That's PJ already in front of Nabil, and even though he was in the DRS strain, he's managed to make that move work. He's gone up the hill, down the hill. Gilly makes a mistake. He can see that Ferrari is vulnerable, and you can see that podium that he was sitting in earlier on is very much looking like it could be his. He had the disadvantage strategy at the beginning of this Grand Prix. He hasn't made a pit stop yet, which is of course a bit more of a disadvantage, whereas the other cars have made pit stops, so they don't actually need to go back in. He's still absolutely rapid, however. His teammate isn't going to give in, though. He's all over the rear of the car in front, like he was with Dave Raptors. Continues on his way. And that is a big mistake there from the Bill, but he kept it in a straight line. Yet again, more moments where he's just about kept it out of the wall. Gilly's going to lose that position. Eventually, Zingy is going to go into the pit lane. So it is going to be a requirement to go into the pit lane again, unless Pursoon's going to take this as an opportunity to try and risk it and stay out for longer. PJ looking like he might have wanted to go into the pit lane early, but he decided not to. He's finally got the lead of the Grand Prix. He might as well try and lead it for, well, I say lead of the Grand Prix, lead of the pack that he is fighting with. Gilly wasn't in a position to overtake. Igor's going to follow the champion into the pit lane and do exactly the same strategy. We're going to have Devon, Young and Zingy, I was going to say close together, but they're not actually that close together. Devon Young on that soft tyre compound, and also Heischel, of course, a little bit further behind. Those guys are looking to just try and set a fast lap as possible, and see what they can do with that kind of situation. Big mistake from Mifo Dan, as he's not working well with these hard tyres. They're very, very tough to manage, unfortunately. Not what you want to see. We'll go back to the battle with the Alpines and the Ferrari. This is where Alpine want to be. Up the top, fighting. And this is for the net podium, of course. PJ will have to pit eventually, whereas Gilly and Nabil will not have to pit. Those guys have fought so hard, though, that Zingy is only 6 seconds behind and on the fresh mediums. Gilly on the freshest hard tyre. It's not going to be so straightforward. If they didn't fight so hard, the pack, then they would have maybe been able to work quite nicely later on in the Grand Prix. Yet again, PJ leads the Grand Prix as he doesn't go into the pit lane. That is going to be Pursoon, though, fighting on the pit exit to get in front of Gilly. He's in P2. Zingy's all the way down there. What happened to Zingy? That's going to be Nabil making contact with the wall. I do not believe it. He's going to be out this battle as well, and he's going to have to take a sudden pit stop. He's going to be on a very similar strategy to PJ. If PJ doesn't pit, he might be able to undercut him if he's lucky, but that was tragic there for the Alpine driver. Pursoon immediately leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and Zingy is nowhere to be seen. Let's have a quick look at this. Gap to the leader, 5.4 seconds away. That is a perfect strategy. Zingy must have got something wrong with that car, surely. I don't think he was in any traffic. He just didn't quite get it right. And yeah, Pursoon's done a blinder. Maybe it's tyre temps. It's just taken such a while to get warmed up that he's just not had a good outlap, and the overcut just worked better. I'm not entirely sure. He's going to swoop around the outside and get a DRS off of the Alpine driver, which is going to help him, of course, try and catch up to the cars in front. But Bassoon's checked out. He is checked out by a mile, and he's going to start the final 10 laps of the Grand Prix. PJ's not going to go into the pit lane, so this is an opportunity for Nabil to maybe undercut PJ. Of course, he's going to have to go into the pit lane now, so he will be able to maybe get an extra position. It will promote Devon Young, promote Nifojan. It might not promote JJ, Eagle, and Heischler going into the pit lane again recently, and Dave Raptors as well going into the pit lane recently. But PJ down there, you've got many pit stops, of course. Nifojan stays out, but he's all of a sudden been promoted, and he's not going to be going to the pit lane anytime soon. So P5 is some decent points on the cards right now for him, and he'll get P4 because PJ's going to have to make a pit stop as well. Nabil all the way down the order. That is an absolutely tragic crash for him to have, of course. Devon Young's also made that recent pit stop. Zingy overtakes Gilly. Not really too much of a contest. So Zingy is pushing on and making sure that he does gain as much time as he possibly can, or minimise the damage whilst he overtakes these cars. He's gained about 3/10 since being behind these cars and making those overtakes work. DRS, will it be available for the Scotsman? It will. He planned that to perfection. And now he's going to want to try and make the overtake on the start-finish straight. And instead of using the cars as a blockade, just use them as kind of a tool to get through and close up. It's going to be PJ looking to go into the pit lane, so very convenient for Zingy's race that is the case. Gilly will not need to go into the pit lane, and he will be continuing to try and look at getting this podium if he can. 4.7 seconds. That is a mega effort from Zingy. He has gained about 6/10 since, of course, Bassoon was out of the pit lane. So he is fast on the circuit right now. He is running out of laps to do it, however. So Bassoon's got all of the cards, all of the cards in his hand. He's just going to make sure he keeps it clean. That car is looking quick in the AlphaTauri. In the hands of Zingy, the champion, of course. We're going to have a quick look at this battle right here. We've got Heischler and Devon Young. They've been close, more or less, throughout the Grand Prix, just not quite in a battling situation. Now they are in a position to battle. We've got Devon Young, championship contender in the F1.5 EU Championship, and we've got the pole sitter of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Heischler, 26.2 he got in the end for his lap, taking a very lovely pole. A circuit that he loves to drive. He had a very tragic start to the race, and of course the safety car restart as well didn't quite go as well his way, unfortunately. We have got PJ and Nifojan already switching, as PJ is on a mad charge. What a drive that he's having right now. 17.3 seconds to Gilly on a fresh set of softs. Don't know if he'll be able to do that. I really don't know if he'll be able to get there. 16 seconds. It's not impossible. Those are really old hard tyres. Those are really fresh and fast soft tyres. And he's going to be fine to go to the end of the race. They're going to get pretty hard later on to deal with. But he will be absolutely fine. I thought that maybe PJ would have had a bit more of a gap that he would have had to try and catch up to the cars in front, but no. Turns out he's managed to make that work on the AlphaTauri pretty easily. And he is gaining a massive amount to the cars in front. 14.8 seconds, 14.7 seconds. We're going to look at the gap to the race leaders as well, actually, see if he's gaining on the cars in front. Or are the top two just in another league? He is gaining. He is definitely gaining. So you can see that tyre is just absolutely nuts. He's gone from 17 seconds to 13 seconds in a matter of just under a lap. So he will have an opportunity to look for this podium. He's been up there, he's been down, he's been up again. And now he's looking to try and go up again to add to the drama. What a podium it would be. He's got a podium here, I think, in F1.5 a few seasons ago, just showing how he loves this circuit. It just never quite went his way in the F1 Championships. Zingy loses over a second to the car in front. Well over a second, maybe even a second and a half to the race leader in the Alfa Romeo. So have a bit of an issue. He's not exactly got that much energy. Pursune's also been pushing. He's not got a full battery either, so they both are in a very similar situation. Now, obviously, if I was any driver on the grid, I would want the fresher tyres and the bigger gap, and that is what Pursuane has got himself into. This is a very nice situation for him to have. He's got to make sure he doesn't get that 3-second time penalty, because if he does, then it's just going to give a bit of a psychological advantage and disadvantage to Zingy and then himself, of course. But I think they're probably going to be absolutely fine. He's almost made it a 7/10 gap. We knew it was a weak circuit for Zingy, but this week I'm not quite sure I expected that. I also know that Pursuane is strong at this circuit, so I think a combination has just shown that this man does deserve to be at the front. When he drives, he drives. He drives very fast, and it's working for him. 7 seconds. There you go. You can see it. You want to look at the battle on your screen now, though. We've got PJ. He's not quite there yet. He is catching. We'll actually have a look at a battle that is actually going to be taking place with Nabil and JJ, which then doesn't take place because JJ is going to go to the pit lane after all. So Nabil will get that P7 and he's going to try and catch up to Igor if he can. He's on that soft tyre. He will be okay to go to the end, but it's going to be pretty difficult on the soft tyres a bit later on. And Devon Young and Heischler, I reckon, might be able to catch him and maybe make that move on the final few laps. It will be a tight one though, but it will be points that they will be looking for in the championship, of course, in the Constructors' Championship as well. Wondering, does he have damage on that car? He's going to try and get past the McLaren. He doesn't have damage that we can see. Might still have a bit of damage, but at least visually we cannot see anything. You could potentially have none at all, or you could have a bit that does affect you enough. Now, 7.5 seconds is the gap. PJ is still closing. He's slightly running out of laps. He should be okay, and his tyres should have the advantage over Gillies. But they're going to be pretty old as well. They're going to be very hot, whereas Gillies aren't really going to be hot, but they're just going to be worn. I think what PJ's got to do is just push like a madman, make sure that he gets that DRS, because once he gets that DRS, then he has a bit more to use, a bit more to his advantage. He's not far away, so if these guys make mistakes, he will be able to get in on this as well. He's got fresher tyres than Gilly. He doesn't have to worry about the hards, of course. Igor, he's not that far away from Nifferjan, so he's on that medium tyre. All of a sudden, you could see the likes of Igor's in P6 right now looking at a podium. It would be a crazy situation to be in, but not impossible if you think about it, really. That being said, he'd have to gain a massive amount of time. Gaining a massive amount of time, though, is not only Pursuane, but also PJ, who's now made it to a 5-second gap. He is, well, he's cooking. Reaching the 4-second margin now. Almost getting there. Not quite managing. But he got it on the exit. Lost the car on the curb a little bit. He's not got much energy to play with. Neither is Gilly. He's also pushing. He knows what's at stake. He can see the laps. They are running out. He's not got that many to go. That's good news for him. That's bad news for PJ. 4.7 seconds in that final corner. PJ didn't really gain that much. Of course, straights kind of have lesser effect when you have tyre differences. But PJ, he can't afford to waste any more time. He's got to make sure that he uses this first and middle sector to get that DRS, because once he's got that DRS, then it's all with him. That's going to be a big crash. That is going to be Eagle out of the Grand Prix. That is not going to be a safety car, however. On the exit of turn 5, I believe that is, he's planted into the right-hand side wall, maybe hitting the left-hand side wall on our inside here, and then just being a passenger to the right-hand side. But that is a very interesting crash. No safety car deployed, despite pretty much being on the racing line or in the firing line of somebody else was to have an incident. And now Nifo's got a lot less pressure, if no pressure at all, because he's got an old soft tyre runner behind him with a time penalty as well to add to that. 7th place with Devon Young. He has caught up nicely to Nabil. Heischner hasn't been able to follow on. He has got the more disadvantaged tyres. That is a hell of a cut from Devon there, but he still keeps it on track at least. And Nabil is going to be under threat very soon, if not immediately, on our screens. He has the inside line. He has the DRS. No ERS for the Alpine. And that is all done, all sorted. 2.8 seconds now. PJ not gaining as quickly as he was. He is still gaining, though. He's doing a good job. Gaining. Pursoon is gapping Zingy at the moment. Zingy can't find an answer. 9.3 seconds. Just not working. Controller not disconnected, but controller player indeed. I'm not trying to put him down. It's just a tough circuit to race at. If anything, I'm giving him an excuse. I know he's the champion, but there are circuits that will always suit others more than others, and this is just a circuit that is super tough to deal with the abilities of a controller against a steering wheel. That being said, Pursoon is on new equipment, so he's doing a very good job with it to get used to it. PJ's finally done it. He's made the breakthrough. Devon Young has also lost that position to Nabil immediately. DRS not available for PJ though, because he's just missed out, because he's maybe pushed on the energy to make sure that he breaks away. Maybe he's faster in a straight line, I'm not entirely sure. He's pretty quick in a straight line, I'll tell you that. I believe PJ must have got DRS now though. Would he try and go for the move sooner rather than later? I don't quite know. He's definitely in a comfortable situation at the moment. We've got Devon Young, who is also in a comfortable situation. They've actually got a lot to think about here. They've got the car behind who is fighting them and not wanting to give up with DRS, but just not in a position to overtake this time around. He's also got Nifojan he wants to try and overtake. He doesn't have a time penalty, so this is going to be full position. Zingy has had an issue, and PJ and Gilly are both promoted to the podium. I did not see that. When did that happen? Zingy's down the order. He's gone into the pit lane to go for fastest lap. Okay, he must have had damage. There's no way that he's made that decision to go in for a pit stop at that stage of the Grand Prix. I must be completely blind, but this is going to be a move for a P2, and no matter where they finish, they're looking to be on the podium. 5.6 seconds though, Zingy is going to be catching, so these guys cannot afford to fight each other on circuit, otherwise it's going to be absolutely horrendous. JJ retires on track. That is going to be him out of the Grand Prix, and there will be no safety car. It's way too late. Here we go. Is PJ going to go for it early, or is he going to wait until the final lap to pull that pin and go for that move? He's still going to wait behind. He's going to the inside line. He's not going to do it. He's going to make sure that he gets the DRS to stay in front of that car. We're also going to get some switching up with Nifojan and Devon Young. He's made that move. Nifo will get the DRS. We go back with PJ, who makes the move into turn 1. That is a good idea. He's going to have all the clean air to himself. Nifo's got the same idea as well. He's gone to the inside line. He's got the position. Is it going to be enough though? I think Devon Young's going to get a very nice amount of slipstream, but Nifo makes a mistake. He's not going to give in. He's not going to let it go. Zingy's retired from the Grand Prix. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. P9. It will be P8 as he will finish this race and be classed as finished. Dave Raptors will not be as he disconnected earlier on. That is going to be, oh no, more tragedy for AlphaTauri. That is going to be absolutely terrible. Down the order, they will go points lost. PJ is going to get that P2. He's even going to get DRS from the lapped car of Dave Raptors. Gilly in P3 and Devon Young is going to settle. Pursoon wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with ease by 31 seconds. In the end, PJ has done a phenomenal job to come back from everything that he's been through this Grand Prix, and he's going to come back to the podium for the first time in a long time. That is for sure. How deserved is this one? DRS will not be available. He does not need it. He is on the podium yet again. Gilly as well. That's perfect. That is perfect. Devon Young recovering, stayed at it, kept it in and did not give up, and the built on debut gets 10 points to his name. That is not too bad at all. Heischler, solid points after a very tough day, and Nifo, he's not going to be happy with himself. Deserved more, drove an epic race until that final lap, just making that mistake. What a shame. But wow, what a race. What a race. PJ driver of the day, I think that's very well deserved. But this man on the top step, he also deserves a lot of praise. He's done a phenomenal job. Pursoon, once again, is a race winner in LSI. Pursoon takes the win, PJ in P2, then Gilly. We've got Devon Young, Heischler the fastest lap, then Nabil, Nifajan, Zingy, and then disconnecting was Dave Raptors, and DNFing, or actually classed as finished, was JJ, then DNFing was Eager Pro, Jack Lever, and Tom Brainer. We're going to go through the race director, we're going to go for the instant section, and we're going to go through the pit stop section, and then we'll be back for the post-race interviews. Hello everyone and welcome to the post-race interviews of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We start off with Tom Brainer. Tom Brainer, that was a pretty early finish to the Grand Prix. A pretty big incident, which was very difficult to actually understand what was going on. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, I've got first of all a really good start on my medium tires. Jumped the position right at the start, and then unfortunately, during the battle between Reich and Singy, Reich did a little mistake, understeering a bit, I think, and nearly spun. But I was so close behind him that I've got no time to react on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just hoped that he would ghost like the cars sometimes do as quick. Unfortunately, he didn't. And not only my front wing was broken, but my right front tire was also dead.
Do you think
Yeah,
you
really
learned anything
unlucky.
from quali at least?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've got a good pace. Especially I find it's a bit of a difference if you practice offline or if you drive in an online lobby. I feel the handling is a bit different, at least for me. So I'm happy to see that I can also be in a good spot in the higher tier.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hopefully it goes better next time. Next time will be the British Grand Prix. Do you like that circuit?
I mean, it's good track overall. Not my favorite, but still a good track. Also, I think my pace is okay, not the best, not the worst. So I'm looking a bit more forward than for this race. Yeah, more I can't say. Relieved for Silverstone.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, hopefully it goes better there. Good luck tomorrow. I hope it goes well. And thank you very much. Great effort today.
Thanks.
And we move on to Devon Young. Devon, that was a very, very up and down race. I'll say that for sure. Strategy was looking very interesting, but you got some decent positions at the end there.
Yeah. That was the weirdest LSI race I've ever been a part of. I think it was very eventful. I didn't really know what was going on half the time, but yeah, ended up in a random P4, which was maybe a bit lucky. Like you said, the strategy was kind of weird. I was doing it all the way along with Heisler. Really, we were both in the same sort of boat. And but yeah, I mean, I suppose it was an exciting race, but certainly a weird one.
Yeah. Do you think you're well prepared for tomorrow? Do you have confidence going into that one?
Well, I usually do most of my practice on Saturday anyway, so it's hard to say. Obviously, this is good practice itself. For the race, you can kind of figure out some certain fuel things and tire stuff, but no, it should set me up well for tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Next race, British Grand Prix, Home Grand Prix. Do you like that circuit?
Yeah, definitely. I like it. I got my first LSI win there last season, so that was that hopefully we can recreate that. But yeah, obviously a home circuit. You can't. No one can dislike Silverstone. So yeah, exciting stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well said. And we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
We move on to Heisler. No, we don't move on to Heisler. Hold on a second. We go and quickly ask you, Devon. I believe you've got a few words to say on the behalf of Pursoon.
Well, to be honest, I think it was a good race. Overall, really easy. Always easy, to be honest, in this league. I have no competition. You could say Zingy, but he's not really quick. He crashed today. So what can I say? Easy. We move on to next week. I don't know if I race or not. I don't need to because I know I can just win the championship whenever I want to. So. But yeah, exciting race. Quite boring. So maybe you need to get some more challenges in for me, Aaron. But yeah, man.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, and well said, Pursoon. I hope you don't win I hope you win the next race. Sorry. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Rude prick.
And we move on to Heisler. Heisler, that was a tough race. Pole position to start with. I didn't quite get to see what happened with the start incident. It was all very difficult to actually figure out what's going on with all the walls and the cars and stuff like that. But can you take us through your race?
First of all, I don't know what Soon is saying about challenge, because if he's crying about challenge, why didn't he get pulled then? But okay. Yeah, my race was weird. My race was quite weird. Yeah, the first lap incident was mostly just my fault. Like I was still on the inside of Singy and going into turn 4. We were side by side, and I tried to leave him space on the outside. He tried to leave me space on the inside. But I misjudged the grip on the outside and lost the rear, which caused me to have damage. And then I really don't know what happened behind me. I think Tom hit me because he was suddenly dead. So yeah, it was a bit hard to take, because I definitely had the pace to fight for a win as well. But then I just continued on my way, changed the wing. The safety car came out, which I was happy about. I pitted again because I thought I wanted to save the soft for a little bit later, but then I have less fuel and the soft will just be better then. And yeah, I had a really good safety car restart. I was up behind P3 at some point, behind the new guy. Sadly, we had an incident. I don't want to say too much worse about that. Yeah, I will say it in private. But yeah, after that, me and Devin were kind of in the same boat, like you said. But I had all the time just a little bit worse tires. My tires were all used already. He had like new softs and newer mediums. So yeah, I just knew I wouldn't really get him at the end. But at least at the end, P5, I don't know how I got that. Like, it was just a really crazy race. And with P5 with a fast lap, I think I can still be pleased with how the race went.
Yeah, good recovery, good points. And hopefully, maybe next season we'll get you a win at Saudi Arabia. You deserve a good result here. Great Britain, do you like that circuit? Sprint race, do you like sprint races?
I like sprint races, but I don't know if I like Silverstone on the game that much. It's a decent circuit, but it's a bit weird on grip sometimes. So I don't know. I'm not the quickest there, and I don't know if it will actually suit me as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, hopefully it goes well for you there. Hopefully you can get a bit of better luck next time. Maybe another pole position would be good. Thank you very much, Heisler, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And we move on to Gilly. Gilly, my friend, that is a podium. How about that? Strategy was nuts.
Yeah, I'll take that. My teammate decided to park on lap 1 in the middle of the track. I don't know why, he must have got lost, and I lost my front wing. But didn't help. So I loved the safety car, but then that also brought the quick drivers back from however far back they were, back up behind me, so they passed me again. And then there was another accident or something like that. There was some questionable moves by some people. I think they were playing with their eyes closed, but other than that, I'll take it.
Fair enough. I mean, well said. Did you have maybe a hope that you could have probably held on to PJ, or do you think he was just a bit too quick today?
I thought Alpine, they need to do well somewhere, so same with Pursoon. It was close between me and Pursoon all race, but I know how he gets when he doesn't win, so I decided, yeah, you can go.
Yeah, I mean, a gap like that, you can tell that you're just lifting.
So it would have been a win, but I settled for the P3.
Yeah, yeah, like you say, a gap like that, it's clearly just letting him go and do his own thing. So well done, very sportsmanlike. British Grand
Thank you.
Prix. I don't know if it's your home Grand Prix because I don't know actually if you're Scottish or
I've
you're
never
Italian
been.
or
We
you're...
don't have any like transport in Scotland. It's all like horses and shit. So
Right. Okay. Okay. Do you like that circuit?
not really. I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at this track either. So hopefully there will be some more accidents and I'll profit.
Lovely. Well said. Thank you very much, Killian. We'll see you next time. Well done
Thank
today.
you.
Great effort. And we move on to Nifo Jan. Nifo, that was looking good until the final lap, and I guess the tyres just gave way?
I mean, I think everything went wrong. This quali already started. I just pinned myself on the wall for no reason. Then at the start, I had a good start, and then at D4, I get so close to Gilly that I'm literally bumping him up into the corner, and somehow the McLaren still gets a front wing on my rear tire. I think I'm actually surprised how that even happened. So yeah, easily spin, get front wing damage for no reason. And then a VSC instead of a safety car comes out, so instantly I lose time. Then the safety car comes out. And then, yeah, on the restart, again, 2 people spin in front of me. I have no way to avoid. Igor breaks in front of me. Obviously not his fault, because he's also trying to avoid, but they were ghosted. And then I hit the back of him, instantly got damage again. And then I just had to all or nothing on hards. And I think I was like an 80-plus tire wear at the end, and I was managing it well, I think. Yeah, I was slow overall, but I think I managed that pretty well. And then, yeah, obviously, in classic myself fashion, I've been it on the final lap. Yeah, I don't know if it was tire wear or just me hitting a curb wrong. I honestly don't know, but yeah, it's classic disappointing result as usual for this season, really.
I'll say the tyres were in a very difficult state, and I think it is just AlphaTauri curse around this circuit. So don't take it too harshly. Silverstone, do you like that circuit? Maybe more than Saudi? Do you think it's a little bit of an easier track to understand?
I hope that I don't have to get caught. Like at least if I get caught by people, I don't have instant front wing damage. That's good. But yeah, it's been a circuit where I think I've overall always been horribly off pace. Even when I was quicker last game, for example, it was still a circuit I struggled with very much. So it's still the same with kind of medium speed as corners where I find it hard to find the line where to hit the apex and how much speed to carry. So I'm expecting again nothing good, but I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
Bring back the French Grand Prix. Thank you very much, Nico. And we'll see you next time. Great effort, and hopefully it goes well next time.
Yep.
And we move on to PJ, who is on the podium again. How about that? P2. You were down, you were up, you were back down, then you were up, and then you were back down, and then you went up again. I don't know what happened, but you managed to make your way up the field on tyres that you hadn't pitted on in the first place, and then you had to pit, and then you just absolutely sent it. Can you take us through your race?
Yeah, it was just a roller coaster again. I was disqualified from qualifying before I even got out on the track, because I think it was one of the Mercedes, Jack Lever, I think it was, spun at the pit exit and blocked me, and because I didn't see him, I lost my front wing and my car stopped. And because my car stopped on the pit exit and cars were coming from behind, I got disqualified for blocking the pit exit. But I was only standing 1 second because I crashed into the guy in front of me because he was sideways in the pit exit. So yeah, then the start, I don't know what happened, but I somehow got through from P13 to I think P5 or P4 after lap 1 because of this chaos. And yeah, afterwards I think I had always good pace and I love this track. And when the first safety car came out, I was wondering why people were pitting, because it was only lap 3. And I knew from the beginning that Pursoon and Zingy will overtake me. But after the safety car restart, I got spun around by JJ because he sent it into the SS. And from there on, I just had really good pace and was able to come back. Also, what was also good is that all the people in front of me were fighting for a long time, so I was gaining a lot per lap.
Yeah.
And I just managed my tires all the way through. I pitted on lap 17 and my tires had 50% tire wear. And I still somehow had a great feeling in the car and the tires and was able to hold on with the pace. I was even able to overtake Gilly and the other Alpine with all the tires on the mediums. So that was surprising. And then at the end with the softs, I just pushed all the way through. I was gaining 3 seconds per lap to Gilly. And for me at the end was fortunate that Singy had problems, so just good pace and good strategy, which put me into P2.
Awesome. Well said. You've done it. You've got there, and driver of the day as
A
well.
long explanation.
Driver of the day as well, as you went from the back of the field to P2, and it was an impressive drive on the tyres that you were on. It was awesome. Thank you very much, PJ. Silverstone, do you like that circuit? And if you do race, do you think you'd be able to get another podium?
If it's gonna be as same chaotic as this race, I think there's a chance. But I just want to add that before the race started, after I got disqualified, I even told to all the guys in the Discord call, okay guys, I'm gonna do a last two first. And I nearly did it with a last two.
That's impressive. That's impressive. I mean, legend, to be honest. You absolute legend. Thank you very much, PJ. Carrying the Alpine team with your own hands. Very, very good job. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great job.
Oh, would you wrap your race in 3 words? Hello?
Not doing that, unfortunately, today. Not today. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we move on to Zingy Zingy. It was a tough race. It was looking all right to begin with. Was it pretty relaxing at the beginning?
Oh yeah. Basically, yeah. Most of the race was quite mundane, I guess you could say. And then towards the end of the race, I had an 18-second gap. But before then, obviously, I had damage to my front wing, so I repaired that. It was on auto, right? Just for clarification. And basically what happened was I came in on lap 23. I checked it before I went into the pit lane. It was still on auto. And it repaired my fully fine front wing. And I checked only a few laps before and I had no damage and I didn't visibly feel like it. So I'm 8 seconds behind the second and the third with 2 laps to go. And I've gained 4 seconds in the first lap. So I know it's possible. But then I've tapped the inside of the turn 4 and it's just blown up my wheel. So I don't know. It's quite rubbish.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, but you have been classed as finished and you still score points. So I guess that's something to help. Silverstone, that is a circuit that is close to you. I won't say the words, but it is a circuit that is close to you. Do you like that circuit? Do you like it much more than Saudi Arabia?
I love it much more than Saudi Arabia. I think the difference between Saudi Arabia and Silverstone, you can't compare them. Silverstone's a legendary track, which you can actually race on properly without just DRS battles. You can overtake in other places too, so I'm happy that for next time anyway, we'll be able to have some good battles, and I hope this time out. Yeah, I hope I don't hit the wall next time because I like eating concrete, apparently.
Hopefully you don't hit a wall at Silverstone because it'll be quite an effort to do it unless it's the inside of the before.
I mean, Max Verstappen done it, so.
Well, he took a detour, but anyway, thank you very much, Singy. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully it goes better in Silverstone.
Yeah.
And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow for the F1.5 EU Championship. We'll see you next weekend for the Silverstone Grand Prix before the final week break. That's going to be a sprint race. It's going to be an awesome one. Do not miss it. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.